You really can't make this shit up. No. Michelle Mone and her husband, Doug Barrowman, well, they're whinging and whining, yeah. They reckon that they are the latest dead cat. Yes, they've been hung out to dry, they say, to cover up for the government's own incompetence. That's what they say. Well, you could argue that there's some truth in that, but it doesn't make their actions any less egregious. They allegedly stole from the public purse. Well, Doug Barrowman says the NCA investigation into COVID VIP lane firm is being used to distract from the government's incompetence. Oh my giddy aunt. All of these people. So yes, a disgraced Conservative peer, Michelle Mone, and her husband are being investigated by the UK's National Crime Agency, and the couple have confirmed in a statement in which they claim that they are being hung out to dry over the government's COVID-19 PPE failings. Well, what they don't state is the fact that their boat is up for sale. Some of their properties are up for sale. Are they? Well, candidates to do a midnight flit. Maybe they'll do a run, who knows? Anyway, Mone's husband, Doug Barrowman, accused the government of using the NCA to threaten criminal proceedings to make the couple reach a settlement in relation to the PPE Medpro, a consortium he led, which he denied that he led, let's get that straight, which is being sued by the UK government for £122 million plus costs for a breach of contract and unjust enrichment. Now, I'll tell you one thing. They won't get that money. They won't get the money out of the company. The company is a limited company and it will just shut its doors. It has no assets as such. No. It is literally just a middleman that was set up to be, well, there to buy dodgy PPE, which most of us proved to be unusable. Well, Barrowman said that his family had been treated as a punch bag by the media for the past 3 years and received death threats and a constant torrent of online and other abuse as a result of the disputes. Well, they feel that they've been, okay, not justifying, but they must feel as like they've had their own purse emptied. It is the public purse after all. You know, taxpayers' money, your money. These people have taken a whopping great chunk for doing pretty much diddly squat. All they did, we'll buy it from here and we'll sell it to there. They didn't do anything, really. Through phone calls, maybe. They didn't order. That's about it, really. And they got paid millions for it. 60-odd million, Doug Barrowman and Michelle Mone. Of course people are upset. Especially when this pair decided to be swirling around on that 10 million, well, I guess up for sale for 7 million, I believe. But anyway, at the time it was £10 million yacht. While everyone was in their bubbles during COVID lockdown. This couple are disgraceful, disgusting individuals, and they should be keel-hauled. Not on that yacht. I bet the bill, no, below the waterline, I reckon it's pretty clean. We want something else at the case arc, which is quite deep. Anyway, yeah, let's not go there. So NCA is investigating allegations of fraud and bribery surrounding the company, and the Sunday Times reported at the weekend. And Mone and Barrowman both deny the allegations. Well, they denied them from day one when Channel 4 decided to do a investigation. Was it Channel 4 or was it The Guardian? And then they denied it. In fact, they got their solicitors onto them, lawyers and what have you, and said, "Oh, you do that, we're going to sue." But it proved to be true. So, Mone last month admitted that she had lied to the media by denying her links to PPE Medpro, which made millions of pounds from a deal to supply PPE via the VIP lane after she referred to it to the ministers in May 2020. And who was that? Well, Michael Gove. cokehead. Go. Well, in the statement issued on Monday morning on X, part of the PR public relations offensive, the couple have amounted, and the Barrowman said, "I understand why the British public feel angry, but their anger should be directed of Michelle or I should not be directed at Michelle or myself. Yes, Medpro made a profit, which was in line with the margins made by other providers of PPE." Well, then that was wrong as well. That's not an excuse. There's something seriously wrong there. People making that kind of margin on flipping paper masks and plastic aprons. Besides, why did the government decide to say, oh, okay, UK providers of paper masks and plastic gowns, why didn't they actually allow those companies to tender for these contracts? But no. Friends of Michael Gove's got the job instead. So, yes, Michelle was involved in introducing the Medpro to the Cabinet Office after Michelle had 25 years' experience in sourcing and manufacturing of mass-produced goods. Knickers to that, I say. That's literally it. Knickers. Knickers. That's what she's got experience in. Knickers. I know some people were wearing knickers as face masks, but you're not going to see that in the NHS. No, it doesn't meet their guidelines. Michelle Mone sold knickers. Lingerie. Knickers. Anyway, government alleges that the protective surgical gowns providing as part of the contract were unfit to use. PPE Medpro denies this. Barrowman said it was not simply unacceptable that the UK COVID inquiry was not scheduled to review the pandemic PPE procurement until 2025, after a general election expected to take place this year. And the stark reality is that the DHSC, Department of Health and Social Care, has brought this claim against Medpro at a time of increased scrutiny of how it overspent by so much. And when so now he's saying they overspent. That's because you charge them too much. Your margins were too high. Bit of a moron. Anyway, sorry. So, yeah, overspent by so much. And when questions were being asked as to why the government was writing off £9 billion of PPE out of the £13 billion spent. Yeah, they did overbuy. In fact, it was costing, I can't remember what it was now, about £1 million a week just to store the blooming stuff. And now they're burning it. Great, eh? How on earth did the UK government manage to purchase 5 years of PPE when it was only supposed to build up for 4 months of stock? Yet no one has been held accountable at the DHSC. That is a fair argument. They overordered. But the reason for that was, well, their argument at the time was, we weren't confident that we were going to get it in time. So they did overorder. Deliberately. The Barrowman went on to call for the resignation of Sir Chris Wormmold, a moldy worm, and went to call for the resignation of Sir Chris Wormmold, the most senior civil servant in the DHSC, alleging that the department took its action against the couple at a time when it was under increased scrutiny over how much it had overspent and why it had written off PPE. Now, Michelle and I are being hung out to dry to distract attention. Yes, a dead cat? Possibly. That might be true, but like I say, it's still egregious, wouldn't you say? So, the couple had attempted to settle the dispute numerous times and have been told to increase the figure before the government was prepared to call the dogs off. Barrowman said, using a phrase that he suggested that had been used to describe the NCA investigation. After using lawyers repeatedly claimed to the media that she was not connected to the PPE Medpro, Mone now accepts that she was involved in the business. Yes. And now running scared. And her husband received more than 60 million in profits just for being a middleman. 60 million. 29 million of which he transferred to an offshore trust in which Mone and her 3 children were beneficiaries. I don't need to say any more to now, because it is old news. But the fact of the matter is, there is some truth. I think there's some truth in what he's saying, but on the, yeah, at the end of the day, they're toe rags, and they deserve everything that they get. The only thing is, I don't think the government's going to get that money back, and I don't think they'll even get mad at Michelle Mone unless investigation shows that they've done something criminal. And then maybe I don't know, they might take a house or a boat, maybe. I don't know. Well, be more than a boat, wouldn't it? Flipping 122 million they want back. The government, that is. So, anyway, what say you? Please leave it in the comments down below. Do you think Doug Barrowman is justified in his argument here? Are they just an scapegoat, maybe? Or scapegoat, I should say? Possibly. Quite likely, but at the end of the day, they did wrong. And they don't want to admit it. No. They sought an opportunity to take advantage of the British people. That's exactly what they did. They took advantage and creamed it. They couldn't even be bothered, well, to do what everyone else was doing during lockdowns. You know, locking down to protect other people. They decided to, what Michelle did anyway, Michelle Mone, decided to swan around on that flipping boat. Yeah. And that's for flipping experience. The only thing she's got experience with is flipping knickers. Knickers and model. Okay. That's it. You tell me. Please leave it in the comments down below. Oh, crikey. This is just frustrating. If you want to support Jelly, do it on Patreon or buy us a coffee. And the links are down below. But also, we're doing a rewilding here in France where we're planting 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land. And if you want to be part of that, there is a GoFundMe link down below where, well, basically, you just buy a tree. And we're not setting the price from, the more you donate, the more trees we'll put in, basically. And we're also making bat boxes, bird boxes, and animal habitats in general. That's what it's about, really, about the animals. And for your contribution, obviously, we'll put a tree in the ground for you here in France, but also I'll make a sign to go with a tree in memory of a loved one, a pet, or whatever, really, or just you. Anyway, it's time for me to go say toodaloo, so toodaloo. Please be a bit of a like button. Helps the channel,